Today I want to speak on faith and why it is important and necessary for us to stand in faith. You know, at times it get hard. It really gets hard to bear certain burdens. And I can speak for myself. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I don't know where I would be at today. Um, I've gone through some heartaches in my life, whether that been from almost dying from surgeries and I had to um, fight for my life. And that happened in my life 3 times. I literally had some tough scares in my life, but I just always felt like if you fight those situations and circumstances taught me if you continue to fight, then you can weather any storms. It's when we give up and when we feel defeated. And it's easy to feel that way, especially when you're going through things in your life. It's easy to just give up on life. But I'm here to tell you, don't give up. Just have faith. And the only way that you can strengthen your faith is developing a relationship with Christ, building that relationship, praying every single day and believing in what you pray for. That's the key. Sometimes we pray because we know that we're supposed to pray, but if you're not believing in what you pray for, but you're just going through the motions, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there as fast. You really have to establish a relationship with Christ. And that can happen through prayer. He can strengthen you through prayer. He loves you. He wants you to win. You are a child of God. And the Lord wants his children well and taken care of. But without faith, you will be quick to succumb to whatever it is that you're going through. But with faith, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you that just because you don't see how it's going to happen does not mean it's not going to happen. I remember back in 2021, I just did not see how I was going to pull myself out of the deep, dark hole I was in. And I've always had God in my life. I've always been a praying person. So obviously that's where I started. And giving up was never an option. Giving up can never be an option, no matter what you're going through. If you're going through anxiety, depression, and you just feel like you can't go on, please hang in there. I also, in 2021, I also went to therapy, and it was one of the best things that I could have ever done for myself. It really got me back on track quickly. It really, a good therapist can really show you things in more than one way. And a good therapist can show you that it's not always your fault. Sometimes it's just the circumstances that you're born into, and you're not taught certain things. My problem in my life has always been that I just love so hard. I love so much. And you may say, well, there's nothing wrong with loving hard and loving too much. And it isn't, unless you're not getting back what you're putting out. And I just always been a person especially when it comes to family. You know, I just love hard, and I just try to establish certain relationships, but I was starting to be blamed for interfering in relationships, and anyone that knows me knows that's not me. But sometimes the enemy can be so loud that they can overpower the truth. And sometimes you just have to walk away. In my case, I just walked away. You know, sometimes you just have to say, wash your hands from it and turn it over to God and say, Jesus, take the wheel. Because when you've done all that you can do in your life, there's nothing more for you to do but continue to pray and start focusing on your circumstances, your life. Another thing that I did that was not helpful for me at all was I poured my all into, especially my mother. My mother has always been that person that I've been the closest to. I love her more today than I ever loved her in my life. But I poured so much of myself into making sure that she's okay, she's all right, she's being taken care of, to the point that I wasn't even thinking about myself. And you cannot, no matter who it is, you cannot give your all to the point that you are depleted, that you are not being taken care of. There's nothing wrong. We are naturally going to be close to our parents and want to make sure that they're taken care of. But I spent like so much time, so much energy, to the point that I started to feel unloved and unappreciated. And that's the beginning of the downfall in your life. If you're living your life like that, you can't blame that on the person that you poured that love into. It's not their fault. People are not going to turn down love. People are not going to even appreciate you when you make yourself so available, when they know how much you love them and how much you care about them. Sometimes you have to remove yourself, walk away from the situation, and just get focused on you. And that's why I created this channel. This channel has been therapeutic for me, to be able to get my feelings out, to be able to still stand after going through so much. But my life is so amazing today. I really did not know 3 years ago that I would be here, standing on my own 2 feet, walking with the Lord every day through this spiritual journey that I've been on. It's amazing. And sometimes you may think, when you run across videos like this, they're just doing that spiritual talk, and that's not true. And if it was true, I wouldn't be going through this. But the Lord never said you was not going to have storms in your life. But what the Lord do promise you is His love. And when you start to turn to Him and start believing in Him, because the Lord is the one person, the one thing in your life that loves you more than your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your child. The Lord loves you more than anyone. That's why God is a jealous God. No one is supposed to come before him.